Hello, I'm Brock Manhammer. That's my user account name. And it's, you know, do you think Ninja's name is actually Ninja? Do you think PewDiePie's parents named him PewDiePie? No. I'm allowed to have a stage name. So, hello? Hit A. I am today interviewing a teenager to tell me about how their life is different than mine. Not that they would know my life, or I know theirs.
I mean, I kind of live with you.
Yeah. Hit A.
Our lives are similar.
They are interconnected.
We should trade controllers, because yours is like the one that's... There, yeah.
New game. So,
Only 4 minutes left?
yeah, I'll turn that off at some point.
You've had it up for like years and you've never changed it.
So, welcome. I am Brock Manhammer. That's my user account name, my handle. And I'm interviewing a youth these days. That's not her name.
I'm a very cool and hip.
Your name is a youth? No, what do you prefer people call you?
I don't know.
Okay, well, you can think about that throughout it if you want, when you come up with a name. A smart person who was on the ball, I would have said earlier, hey, think of a name to go by, just in case you don't want people knowing it's you.
It's me? What, you think one of the kids from my school is gonna be like, oh my gosh!
Now, do I have... That's locked. This is locked.
They're all locked.
7 is not locked.
Oh, not fair.
8 is locked. 9 is locked. 1 is not locked. Let's start with 1. Chronologically. It's not the best, but chronologically. It's the earliest.
It was okay.
So.
It did though. It had oh, what's his name?
Liam Neeson?
Yeah, it had Liam Neeson.
Let me tell you, this was probably the movie that brought him back.
That's like...
He was doing stuff...
Wait, why was he going bad?
Well, no, he didn't go bad, but,
yeah, but
he did stuff like Rob Roy and, you know, earlier movies. And then he was kind of out of the scene for a while, and then I think it was this one that really brought him back in, and people go, oh, he's still amazing. So then he did this, and he did Taken, he did
Taken was
Unknown,
good.
And a lot of other... Taken was good.
Oh, Unknown. Have I seen that one?
I don't think so.
What's it about?
I don't want to spoil it. It's about a dude who he's in a car accident, and fun fact, when this first started, people thought there was a problem, and they're like, shrinking in the theaters.
Wait,
Then
actually?
they did the very first time. And they go, oh, it's supposed to look like that. They're like,
wait, that was a
thinking
problem.
it was a
that
problem
would
in the
happen?
booth. Yeah. So
I feel bad asking you that because like I don't want to make you feel old.
I am not old enough to remember the original showing. That was in 1978. And I was born in 1980.
Well, I know that.
You were born almost exactly 30 years after me.
Almost.
So you are of a completely different generation. But because we live together, your life is irreparably entangled with mine. Am I allowed to say what our relationship is? You're my daughter. Okay.
It's not that big of a deal.
Some people
Why are
can't.
you using such big words? Irreparably.
It
Our
can no longer
relationship-
be fixed.
Request permission to...
Ew!
Oh, that's not them.
What the frick voice actor is that?
What is that? Darts being shot at Queen Amidala? Evil plans? What? Do you see that on the wall? And these writers are great.
Not the voice actor.
There is a long-standing question about how droids are treated. In fact, the first person who came up with the term android, or robot, was considering them the slave class that would not rise up because they're programmed to not. So it really is a huge moral and ethical question about how we treat the robots in our life around us.
We just like need to all be super nice to them so that they're not like, oh, humans suck, I'm gonna kill them all. Cause yeah,
that would be bad. Yeah. So I try to be nice. I try to be nice to the Google Home. I'm nice to it.
I always make sure I use my manners.
I please and thank you. It's maybe considered dumb to some people, but I say thank you and I say please when I'm talking to...
Okay, but see, here's the thing. When Google comes out with its own robot that can like be a maid or something or a nanny or whatever, and it's like basically a person, like a whole body, it's going, and then it revolts, it's gonna look at you and say, you were mean. You didn't use manners. I'm gonna kick you. And it's a robot, so it's gonna like kick you to Mars. Wait for Elon Musk.
Okay, so I've got pitch and I've got yaw. Hold B to speed up.
Pitch and yaw.
Pitch is the direction you're pointed, and yaw is your orientation.
Oh.
Okay, hold B. Double tap to boost. Press ZR to shoot. I don't want to shoot. I'm on a diplomatic mission.
What if...
Nope. Shouldn't have done that. They're going to go, dude, they just shot at us. If turning feels the wrong way around or too sensitive, you can adjust these settings at any time. Press A to continue.
We've been cleared for boarding. Time for us to get these negotiations underway.
He's used for a lot of stuff, so all we can do is just accept. Do you want to land here? There? Yeah, why not?
Okay, here's my thing. Like, I don't care how much it costs. So many people are gonna buy the game just because they have the original actors.
Name recognition. Yeah.
So many people would buy it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's expensive?
Well, some people, their contract didn't include that. Mm-hmm. Oh, let's go talk to, was this K2S? No, it's not K2S. TC14.
I am TC14 at your service.
TC14. Remember what we gotta do.
Why
Break
does my
everything.
hair look like that?
Always break everything. Yep. Wouldn't it be funny if you go into someone's house and you're like, hey, I'm gonna just break your couch and gather the money that falls out of it. How about your mixer, your countertop mixer? Just break it and gather the money that falls out. Isn't this teaching? This, if we're honest, this is GTA for little kids. That's what this is. Break all the stuff and take the money. That's what this is teaching.
That's hilarious.
So tell me about a typical school day for you.
School day?
Yeah.
Well, it really depends on the person.
It does. Tell me about some of the things that you do. Like, do you... Oh, you use the Force. Good job.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
So you have music class.
Not anymore.
Well, I know it's the end of the year, but you have music class. You had several music classes.
Okay, well, do you mean like general music or like exploratories?
More than regular.
Okay,
You're
so exploratory.
you're a talented musician. You play an instrument.
Okay, a lot of people, because I'm one of the top people in the classes, And a lot of people always say like, oh my gosh, you're so smart. I just have a good memory.
You do, and you're good at following the music and playing a scale and.
Well, it's just a memory. That's all it is.
Yes, memory is good for music that you already know.
Well, I'm talking about in
Reading
general.
music is good for
Oh my gosh, I remember
learning
one
new
time
songs.
Mom's house at church when I was doing a what's it called? A special musical number. I think it was like Easter or something, and I was singing Silent Night. And what happened was she hadn't played piano in forever, and so she needed help. And she
To warm up, refresh.
Or no, but she was asking me, hey, what's that note? Is that in the right part? But I'm like, and she's like, okay, what's that note? And I'm like, that's a D, that's an A.
I'm thinking. Oh, we can't break this. It's a set piece. I'm thinking. She probably did, but she was checking your knowledge.
I don't know, man.
But she also played violin.
Well, yeah, but that was like a good long time ago.
You know, 15, 20 years ago.
That's longer than I've been alive. So.
Yes, it has. So, you are
Is there like
something years old.
I am something years old. Are you something years old?
I am something plus 30.
Oh my gosh, we have so much in
We have the
common.
same birth month.
That's insane. Our
we
birthdays is just like 7
I think we got everything in.
Because wasn't my due date like on your birthday?
I do not recall, Senator. Is there anything on here that we had to?
No, I think we got it. But yeah, I thought that's what Mom said.
We are greatly honored by your visit, ambassadors.
You're welcome.
This way, please.
This way, please. So. So
I still
you.
have a bad feeling about this, you know.
Don't center on your anxieties, okay?
That voice actor is
Keep your
better.
concentration here and now, where it belongs.
But Master Yoda said I should be mindful of the future.
But not at the expense of the moment. Be mindful of the living force, young Padawan.
So do you mind
Yes,
if we
Master.
don't listen to all of the dialogue? So you play music. What's your pattern when you get to school in the morning?
Like my schedule?
Your pattern. Do you like immediately go to your locker? Do you
Oh. Well,
talk to friends?
I first go,
This way, ambassadors.
like I go in through the cafeteria doors to get breakfast. Because like school, like their muffins are just so good. I don't know why. They just hit different.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well, they get them by the thousands and prepare them in massive groups.
I don't know, man, they're just really good.
There you go. There's a life hack. Buy in bulk. It tastes better.
Well, life hack.
What is this? A plain asteroid? Take that. Shouldn't be showing that out in the corridor anyway.
Yeah,
So
so
you go and get breakfast.
and then I walk down towards my locker, and it really depends, like when I get there, because if I get there earlier than usual, then if I get there
I'm asking
earlier than usual, then
How do you think this
and like my
trade
friends
viceroy
aren't there
will
yet, I
deal with the
usually get my
Chancellor's
stuff,
demands?
put it down in my homeroom class,
These Federation types are
and then
cowards. The
after
negotiations will be short.
I put it down, like my stuff down, I go out into the hallway, kind of linger till my friends arrive.
When they finally begin, you mean? Is it in their nature to make us wait this long?
No, I sense an unusual
No, it's
amount of
not in
fear
their
for
nature.
something as trivial as this trade dispute.
So,
am I doing
do you? Yeah, you're doing it. So, do you frequently talk to your friends in the school day
I do
before,
it.
like way before?
Well, I like almost every single day, unless they're running late, but almost every single morning, I do say hi to my friends. My first hour class, all my first 4 classes, I have with my one friend, and so It's kind of funny. She calls me her grammar teacher because she cannot spell.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know. She says that she isn't sure, but she could be dyslexic. But I don't know.
Oh, maybe. All the monies!
Oh my
All the
gosh.
monies!
Here, I'll get the ones on this side.
That didn't sound trivial.
Oh,
Stop.
come on. The story
No.
keeps affecting us.
Oh my gosh,
We
nobody
need to
cares.
get out of here.
Nobody cares that we
Come on. Y to start an attack combo. No, I don't want to. Yes, thank you. Y. Press Y. I'm doing it. I'm pressing Y. You gotta do it too.
I'm doing it. Do you have to like hold it or
I don't know. I've never played this game before. Press Y.
does the Switch freeze up like the Xbox did?
You hear the music playing? It's not froze. No, it's not completely froze.
At Mom's house, sometimes.
Oh, there we
when
go.
We play Legos. I'll like play a 10-hour loop of that on YouTube.
I have a 10-hour loop video of, what's his name screaming.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny.
Ah! Somebody died.
Alright, let's take all the chairs. Because one thing that's very important in this game specifically is
The money. Ow! Frick.
there's a challenge to get the all of the monies, and then you get true Jedi.
Oh, and that's what it is in this game?
Yeah.
Because it's different in all the games, but it's like the same thing because it's Lego. Anyways, yeah. So I talked to my friends in the morning, and then, so I have all my first 4 classes with my one friend, E. I'm just gonna call her that,
Okay.
because maybe she doesn't want me sharing her name online. I don't know. I don't care. So I have all my first 4 classes with her, and then I have my second and third
So much for the negotiations.
also with my friend L.
Uh-huh.
Or we can simply fight our
And
way around
what
it.
am I doing? I
How
can't
should
see
we proceed,
anything.
Master?
I don't know, I think we're supposed to have our lightsaber?
And then I don't have any at all except for orchestra and choir. I don't have any classes with A.
Okay.
But then at lunchtime, we usually sit at a table together. And then I really like my school because, like, it understands the fact that, like, like, recess and stuff like that is real good for stuff because, like, you know, vitamin D is good for you. And also because, like, it's just exercise. Even if you just walk around, it's still exercise. But yeah. Except on Tuesdays, my friend A has Builders Club, and I'm kind of mad about that because we don't have any other classes. And so on those Tuesdays, we don't even get to see each other, except in
I
choir.
was not expecting to burst through a huge pile of money. Go pick up my lucky blue. Did you get my lucky blue?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So, you get to school, you have breakfast.
Mhm.
Do not hit the red barrels. They pop like bombs.
They explode.
The little blue trunks are fine though. So, when you eat at the school, what do you usually choose? Like, do you go for the healthy option? Do you go for
Yeah.
pizza? What?
I
Not that
usually
pizza's
go for the
unhealthy,
healthier option,
You know?
which is generally like a little banana muffin, a bag of apple slices, and I usually pick goldfish But recently they've been out of the goldfish,
What?
and so, oh my gosh, it's insane.
What are you doing over there? Are you trying to use the force on a wall?
No, I'm just
fixture?
sitting there.
On a
Anyways.
sconce?
But they've been out of the goldfish, and so instead I've been doing the Cheez-Its. I know, it's insane.
Yeah. One would not think they're interchangeable. Goldfish and Cheez-Its.
No. And then I don't know what's happening. Like at the beginning of the year, they had the kind of like the extra cheddar goldfish, which is like basically the same thing except it's got like cheese powder and it's like 10 times better. 15 minutes. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. Anyways. But then it disappeared for like the entirety of the year, but like it recently came back. And I don't know why, but I'm not complaining because it's like better.
So, do you like to carry all your books in your locker, or do you put all your books in your locker and just use what you need for each class?
That's what I
Do you
generally
carry
do.
a few?
But one thing that a lot of people do is like they will bring like for their upcoming hour and the hour after that.
Oh yeah.
And keep that.
I just walked in a big circle.
And what I do is I just go to my locker every hour. And one thing that a lot of kids did is they set their lockers, which means that because like we have locks, right? And so what you do is you do the code, and when you pull up to open it, you keep it
so
up.
they do the code ahead of time, and then
put-
when they just get back to it, that's when they do it?
No, because how you do it is you go to your locker, you put in your code, right, and you pull the little thing up to open it, but then you keep holding it up and you grab a pencil, put it through this little hole that keeps it up, and so that makes it so that you don't have to put in your code every time.
I feel like that's a major security concern.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you keep stuff in your locker that you wouldn't want people to steal?
Yeah, but I don't set my locker. Also, I'm so mad because this year, the littler kids at my school, last year we didn't get locks on our lockers, and there was this one girl who like she. Where are you? There was this one girl, and she would go into people's lockers and steal from people. And she stole a thing from me, but yeah.
I'm sorry. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Dude!
That was an auto lock on. Auto lock on.
Look at my health. I'm practically dead already.
I'm sorry. We gotta jump in this.
Anyways, this year, they get locks on their lockers. And yeah, but they got it like 2/3 or halfway through. But yeah. Continue.
So, oh my gosh, this guy. Okay, that was not in the original game, but also it's kind of funny.
Let's get out of here before more droids show up.
Ew.
Look, did you know that guy actually did have a part in the Clone Wars? That voice actor?
Really?
He did, he was...
We need to find somewhere safe and warn the Naboo of this invasion.
He did actually have a part in the Clone Wars television series.
Can you take us there?
The animated one?
Yep.
Dude, I remember my brother, he would like always have it on, and so like I wouldn't specifically watch it, but like
But you
I know.
couldn't help but...
Yeah. And to be honest, it was kind of like my childhood, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was really good.
I enjoyed it.
And also, I liked how, like, it had a lot of things that, like, it wasn't just an animated retelling for little kids. Like, it was an entirely different story. And it was
Yeah.
like a prequel-ish. And
Oh,
I
here's
thought
a
it
little
was kinda
dinosaur
cool.
guy. Come here. I'm gonna kill him.
Oh,
Got it. No, I didn't get it.
no, it has a life.
Oh, come here. Come here.
I
I almost got him.
I almost killed
Almost
him.
got him. Oh, he's crying. Oh, poor little dinosaur crying. Come here. I'll put you out of your misery. I got him. I got him. I got him. Oof. I'm about to take my lucky blue. Oh, our health regenerates.
Yeah.
What?
You didn't know that?
No, always before. It's just been you get 4 hearts and that's it.
Yeah, that's one thing that's interesting. Because in all the other Lego games that I've played,
So don't expect a warm welcome.
like,
So don't worry.
in all the other games that, like Lego games I've played, it's always been hearts. But in this one, it's like a little meter that regenerates.
Regenerates. That's new.
It is.
There was money in that pile of poop. Red barrel. That means they explode.
Oh, there's
Oof,
another dinosaur.
gosh.
There, little guy.
Looks like a little Gallimimus. So,
What?
do you have friends that are not in the same classes? Like, did you make any friends that you do not have any classes with?
This year?
Yeah.
Like
that you met at lunchtime or recess? Or is that something, like, is your classes that you go to, are they your only social group, or do you expand beyond that?
Well, no, because I really made majority of all my current friends last year. And, my one friend A, I did not have any classes with her. And I met her through, like, lunch and recess.
Oh.
And yeah,
Okay.
and I do have some friends that aren't in any or most of my classes, but yeah, I think I was pretty lucky though to have one friend that I have all my first 4 classes with.
Uh-huh. Is that A?
No, it's my friend E who can't spell.
Oh, okay. I don't know E.
Yeah, I don't think you've met E. A
I have
come
met
over.
A. A is
Yeah.
a really good friend.
She's come over a bunch of times. Went to Elle's birthday party. I don't think that you know have met.
I've met N. No, I never met N. I've heard about N.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about, so you're old enough to remember school before COVID,
Mhm.
and
Man, that was crazy.
yeah, it was.
Dude, I think it's so insane to think that, like, when it started, I was in, like, 3rd grade, and now, when it, like, died down, I don't know, I just think it's crazy, like, how little I was when it started. But yeah, continue.
So, like, in your opinion, from your experience, I never had this big, you know, pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, so how did that affect your Like, I know everyone was homeschooling, but how did that affect your social life?
Oh man, that hit me hard because I didn't really have any way of communication with my friends. And so, like, to be honest, I kind of just didn't have any social system whatsoever except for people from church.
Okay. So
And
the
like it
school
was
tried
kind
to have, video
Uh-huh.
conference meetings, but
of, man, oh my gosh, virtual schooling was absolutely horrible.
well, I mean, the first time they
I
started
had
it,
such
there
bad
was
grades.
nothing prepared. Everything was a scab together experiment on maybe this will work. Let's try this.
I just had such bad grades because I felt like the students, like, it wasn't in as controlled of an environment,
You're right. It was in our
so
basement while I was working.
they were like way more susceptible to temptation, and there was nothing the teacher could do about it.
Distraction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember, and I'm not proud of this, but I remember a lot of times, like in the middle of math class, when the teacher froze, I would just like go onto YouTube and watch a video.
Buffering issue, YouTube.
Yeah. But in the middle of
That's
math
kinda-
class, I would just mute that tab and go onto YouTube. And like, here's the thing: they did try. They got this what's it called? They got this like website called Helpara, where the teachers can see everything on the student's thing. But it was kind of funny. Oh my gosh, there was this one kid who is in an annoying turd bucket, and
let's avoid calling names.
there's this one kid
Who is somewhat annoying. Okay.
and very mean.
Okay.
Sorry, disrespectful.
Okay.
And I remember the teacher shared his screen because like the kid wasn't responding. So my teacher shared his screen. He's like, "Oh, what's this?" Right? And he read the name of the video. It's like, "What's that?"
He was just watching YouTube.
He was like, "What's that?" And then he closed out of the tab. Like, because teachers can close out of the students' tabs, right? So he closed out of the tab, and then, yeah. But I did make one friend in virtual school. No, I made a couple, but it just wasn't as good.
Wasn't
It
the
was
same
very
experience that you had expected, or that you had come to
It was
know.
very difficult because I remember there was this, I had a friend and he was like the smartest kid in the entire, he was insanely smart. And even this year, he wasn't at school this year, he was last year. But this year, he wasn't at school, like because he moved into Florida to go to some like gifted kid school. Because he's so smart, and I'm not surprised. Anyways, so like at one point, like it was kind of hard because I had one friend and she like her microphone wasn't muting, so she couldn't respond. Or at one point her audio wasn't working, so she could only use the chat feature, and it was just very difficult. We managed to do it, and we're still friends to this day, but it was just really difficult.
Different experience, and as young as you were,
Mhm.
it became something that you didn't have 12 years of experience in school in person, and then suddenly.
No, it was from a very young grade. I think that virtual schooling was in 4th grade, and that's a very low grade to have something so detrimental happen. And especially for me, because though I am a social butterfly, I honestly feel that if I do not have friends, I cannot function properly. Like it was very difficult. I remember at my old school in Madison in the 2nd grade, because of how much I was bullied, and like at my after school program I had no friends, and so it was very, very difficult because I only had one friend and he wasn't there very often, and so like I just felt like I could not function. And so I think especially for very social kids and kids who rely on social circles and social support, that quarantine and like it was just
It was a hardship.
it was very difficult.
So after that, what do you think is your takeaway from how it was handled? Like seeing your first year in at home, and then the second one was frequently at home. Was it easier? Did they figure stuff out?
What do you mean?
You second of the quarantine.
No, I only did at-home schooling
Is there something you
or
want to tell
virtual
us,
school
Jar Jar?
for 1 year.
Embarrassing.
Because
I'm afraid
in
I'm
third,
already
oh
Spanish.
no, never mind. Okay, so in
That
third
seems
grade,
like something it would have been
near
helpful
the
to
end of the
remember.
year, like the
As I said,
last fourth or third of the year, they did virtual school, and that one was, I don't remember a lot of it, but I remember it was really difficult. And I think that it's not the best option because, like, I go to school with one kid and he doesn't have internet at his house.
Well, now
family
our
can afford
school accommodated for that. They said if you don't have internet at your house, let us know. We can sign out a hotspot thingy to you. So
Actually, that's awesome.
we were fortunate in our school district that was an option. I
Oh,
think that was
I remember doing
funded by the
Government or something.
by the school district. Whoop, I fell all the way down to the bottom. So
Also, I think like a lot of people in my grade, like people are like, oh, you don't know how to
dude,
write
there was
in cursive?
money in that sewer tube. That's funny.
People are like, oh, you don't know how to write in cursive? You're just stupid. Well, like, because see, here's the thing, like, we never learned cursive because at my first hunk of the year in third grade, they didn't teach it in that district. They didn't teach it at that school. They did not teach how to write
That was
cursive,
another thing.
which I did not like.
Near the beginning of the pandemic, we actually moved our house, and so you were coming from one school district to another, and so you were already at a disadvantage of not having any built-in friendships and relationships. We had come from a
And
different
also
one.
because it was such a small school.
That's right.
My
Your
class
school, your entire
was tiny.
class year was like what, 14 kids? Because we live in a very small village.
In the entire school, there was probably like 100 kids, and it was ELP, early learning program, up until I think at that time it was 5th grade. Yeah, at that
I
time
have no idea where I'm going.
it was 5th grade.
I gotta find Boss Nass and get Una Bongo.
But yeah. Anyways, so and then in my grade, I believe there was
Can I not ground
there was
pound?
4 people in my grade. There was 2 girls who were like best friends. And then there was this one kid,
So like your whole grade had like 4 or 5 kids. total?
including myself.
Wow. That's what happens from small town schools.
And so in my class, it was the 3rd grade, the 4th grade, and the 5th grade. But one thing I think was interesting was it kind of had a middle school like format, because we would go to Mr. C, I think.
Okay.
We would go to him for math class, and then for literature we would go to Miss J, and then for like world, like all the world things like geography, science, that sort of thing. We went to Mr. B.
Okay. You know Mr. Beast? I'm just kidding.
No, Mr. B.
Okay.
But
So,
yeah, and I thought that was. And then we went to PE with Mr. L. And yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting.
So,
And then
Yours-
Mrs. J for music.
so at the end of the school year, your like your school closed in the
Yeah.
village.
That school closed, and then we went to the bigger one.
So now you're
And that one
at
has-
a multi-town.
Yeah. And that one has like 59 kids in our grade, which is still relatively small, but it's better. And smaller schools do better according to studies. So I'm kind of glad that it's a smaller class, smaller than like in Madison. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you mind telling us why?
Like I didn't even know half the kids in our grade. But now I can tell you a basic idea. I can tell you the name and a basic idea of every single person in my grade. And some of the grades above me.
So, I'm curious about where I'm going. I'm curious about where I'm going. No, I'm curious about what. It sounds pretty cliche, but what do you want to do when you grow up?
I want to be a general surgeon.
You want to be a general surgeon, like not a neurosurgeon. Just-
No, oh my gosh. That freaks me out so much because like I don't want to. Because like if you make one little wrong move, that person is vegetable instantly.
Okay.
And I think like
I mean, classically, every surgeon who makes one wrong move can kill someone, so is it more a danger of ruining their brain?
well, I think it's just because like a neurosurgeon, they have to be so precise. But like general surgeons, which work on
Like,
more
you can
of
make a
the,
couple of mistakes and it's fine.
I guess, yeah. But like general surgeon would work more in the abdominal
Abdominal.
area. Like they have a little bit like room to work. They have a little bit more room to work. It's just that like the brain is such a fragile area.
Okay. Do you think that other neurosurgeons were nervous when they very first started?
I would assume so. I would
I mean,
assume
they don't
anybody
let-
going into medicine would be nervous.
I mean, they don't let just anybody do. You gotta prove that you're good at this.
Because you have to be accepted into a college, and then you have to get accepted into a hospital or something.
So like, here's what I equate it to. When you're a pilot for like a jumbo jet, you know, it's like a 787.
Sure.
The very first time you get into that jet, there's passengers.
Yeah.
When you very first become a pilot, your very first time piloting that jet, there's passengers in that jet.
Mhm.
You know, they can't just spend $100,000 fueling up these things just to let you do some training flights. You know.
Sure.
So I imagine there's a lot of practicing on cadavers and
Oh yeah.
models, and maybe
In science
now
class
when,
we were making a
when
joke.
you get into
Like-
med school, maybe there'll be like 3D CG models and VR glasses for
I
surgery.
don't really want to do that. I want to like do like hands-on like cadavers.
Right, I'm just
slicing
saying.
and dicing.
I'm just saying, you know, cadavers are hard to come by. You know,
Actually,
people die, but very few people actually leave their body to medical research. People want to be buried. Talk about a waste of a good cadaver. Bury me, I'm selfish. But we want to
I wanna
learn
be
from
with-
you. Okay, how you gonna do that? Well, we'll cut you open. No! Well, you're not gonna feel it. You're dead. Still, don't cut off my dead body. Maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but I feel like you're dead. Who cares?
Yeah.
I'm sure when they're done with you, they'll, you know, they'll,
Give you a special.
when I'm sure when they're done, like using your body, they'll, you know, they'll put you somewhere respectful.
Ooh.
And
I found a button.
you know, they're not just gonna do some medical research and then leave your body in a ditch somewhere. They don't do that.
That'd be kind of funny. Like, all right, sir, we're
Found
finished.
a body in the ditch. Yeah,
Right, sir,
but-
we're finished
but
with this cadaver.
See here, he's
Which
got,
ditch you want to put it in?
But, okay, so like the police get called, you know, that we found a dead body in the ditch. He's naked and has had several post-mortem procedures. Like this dude has been cut on. You know, they'd be like, oh, he was a medical research cadaver.
Oh, wait,
Okay,
do
no
know.
crime
Like,
here.
no. I'm
Huh?
not done with the monies.
Oh, okay. No. So, I'm sure that's not gonna. They're gonna do something respectful. Maybe they'll cremate you, put you,
Nah, I
plant
saw.
a tree in you. I don't know.
I saw a TikTok one time, and it was this guy like cleaning out this vase for my mom. Ew, it's got so much dust, and it was like an urn.
Okay. All right. Now that was obviously staged.
I really hope so.
It was. 'Cause that's serious health concerns. So, you want to be a general surgeon,
Yeah.
like for people,
Yes.
not animals. Just clarifying.
No one want to
So wait.
slice up
So,
Fluffy.
Mr. Boss Nass, I need to talk to you. I need uno bongo.
What are you doing?
I'm talking to Boss Nass.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just waiting in his chamber.
Well, sorry.
No, that's fine.
Why doesn't
So-
it have the little thingy
Mhm.
that tells you?
It
how
does.
close you-
Do you see the little gold sparkle on the floor? Look around. Look around. Look around. See the arrow?
Yeah.
See the arrow pointing at the floor?
Yeah. What about it?
All of it.
Why?
Gold sparkle on the floor.
Why?
Double jump. Yeah, there you go. Because that's going to tell you where to go. I'm just saying, that's what I'm going to tell you. Nope, not here. It went to the right. It went to the right.
Yeah, I know.
The gold one is for a laser person. Iron Man. Oh, well, who's got a laser beam?
I don't know.
I don't know either. So, General Surgeon,
Lou.
do you have a plan on which school or hospital you want to try for?
I have no clue what hospital, but hope for the best.
Yeah, prepare for the worst. That's what they say.
So I hope to get into a really good college like Harvard,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not sure.
Well, there's also...
That's why I'm making sure that I have good grades. Making sure I have a 4.0 GPA.
Uh-huh. Well, there's also other really good college. There's Princeton,
Yeah, but
other less expensive colleges that still teach medicine. Just saying.
I mean, I forgot price exists.
Price exists. You are right. No, there is no such thing as a free lunch. So,
Whoa, what the
you are
heck?
too young to drive. However, you've ridden in cars several times.
No,
are you
I just walk
excited?
everywhere.
Are you excited to learn to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Are you excited to learn how to drive a standard transmission?
No.
Why do you think I'm mandating this rule that
Because if we're in a zombie apocalypse and there's a car and we need to get away and no one knows how to drive stick, I know how.
I'm thinking less zombie apocalypse, more say you have a job,
I don't know, man.
you know, while you're at college.
As like a valet?
No. While you're at college, you have a job working for a catering department, and they're like, hey, drive the truck over to this address. But it's a standard transmission. You're like, oh, sorry, I can't. And they're like, oh, well, we'll pay someone else to do it. That's one example. You know, it's a good idea to learn how. I mean, I say that now, knowing that there's an electrical revolution happening right now, that by the time you actually are able to buy a car, there probably won't be any more gas cars.
No. Oh no, everyone's gonna be gossiping about, oh my gosh, have you seen the price of these charging stations?
Yeah.
That one old man in the corner, like, I remember when gas was
I remember we used to have to put a flammable oil-based liquid into the gas tank of that car. We called it gasoline. It wasn't that lean either. Somehow you burn the stuff in the car and it makes you move forward. Yeah. So, what about, we hear a lot of people saying that people nowadays, or people that are about to get into the market nowadays, will not actually be able to buy a home in their life. That A, it's not important for them to buy a house.
To attack the Naboo.
We shall not like
what else?
And by the time you are in a position to, you cannot buy a house because of interest rates and the cost of everything and inflation. Nowadays you have to have like 3 jobs in order to afford a house. Unless you get really lucky like your mom and me. So, what do you think about this? Are you just gonna accept and be like, oh, I'll rent an apartment then. I'll rent.
I don't know, because like, at some point in my life, I will want to, get a house, have kids, and like, but because of like interest rates and stuff,
and inflation, despite the cost of living, it's really popular. That's a joke.
Yeah.
Living is really popular despite how much it costs.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're like, I know it was a joke. I gave the proper response. Okay, so do you plan on owning a car or just taking Ubers everywhere?
Master,
no, I plan on owning
Transport, I hope.
Do you plan on purchasing a brand new car, or do you plan on buying a used car?
I think sometime in my life I can get a new car, but my first car is probably.
I'm more concerned about your track record with submarines.
Let me tell you, your first car is going to come from your mom and me, and I'll tell you, it will not be brand new. It will have a good running engine and brakes and seat belts and maybe all of the windows. You're going to be lucky if you can tie the driver's door closed with a bungee cord wrapped around the steering column. It is going to be safe and ugly. Because that is an experience that every kid needs. And I'm saying this sounding like a really, really mean jerk. But I think that's like everybody's experience with, first cars.
What was your first car?
My first car was keep in mind I was born in 1980. My first car was a 79 Audi. So it was even older than I was.
Well, not by much.
By at least a year.
Yeah.
Because the 79s come out in late 78. So it could have been almost 2 years older than me.
No, I had blue.
Oh yeah. You lose a lot of money when you die in this. So what about, do you plan on, like, being in the big city, taking the bus, or do you plan on...
I don't know. I think big cities are really expensive, and I think they're cool, but I don't really want to live in one.
Well, they're important because that's where you're going to get big hospitals, and big hospitals are going to have more surgical options for training, internship, stuff like that. You're never going to get a double bypass.
But it's also going to be super expensive.
Yes, but you know, you can be smart about where you live, get a roommate.
I want to have a roommate, like, no matter what, even if I can afford not to.
But you're
Because,
never
like,
going to get
I just feel like being a young girl is, like, not that expensive. Nowadays, it's just kind of sad.
Well, it's also good for cost saving, you know. Having a roommate means you spend half as much on your rent, and it lets you, you know, have someone to yell about closing the fridge at, you know? Or to have someone that you get to make fun of when they dress weird. It's important to have someone to make fun of when they dress weird.
It's very important.
It's part of growing up and being a woman in these hard economic times. You gotta have something to laugh at. But okay, but seriously, do you see yourself as a fashionista, someone who tries to keep up with the trends?
I mean, like, I try to dress in, like, cute outfits. I don't want to look like a hobo, but
Okay.
I'm not necessarily gonna buy, like, the brand new, like,
Manola
Mischief's,
Blahniks.
like, Mischief's brand new red boots that are, like, in my opinion, kind of ugly.
You're allowed
Like,
to have an
I
opinion.
want to wear stuff that, like,
That's
I
the
think
thing.
is cute and comfortable.
This is the thing that I want you to know about the world. You are allowed to have an opinion. You are allowed to have an
Such
opinion.
revolutionary knowledge.
Okay, a lot of people believe that if you don't believe the same way they do, that you're wrong, and they need to tell you how wrong you are. So, you are allowed to have an opinion. Just as you are allowed to have an opinion, so are other people. And other people are allowed to have a different opinion than yours, and you need to allow them to have that opinion.
I'm aware
Right.
of these.
Okay. So, apparently I need to go here. I need this dude. Who's this dude? L. Give me L. Oh! Am I Jar Jar now? Oh, man. I gotta go kill myself. Ah! Oh, I didn't break anything. Dang it. No broken bones here.
Why do you hate him so much?
I just... George Lucas was trying something new, but I feel like the majority of people believe it did not work for him.
He wasn't that bad.
You know,
He's
I
kinda
commend
annoying,
him for trying something new,
Jar Jar wasn't that bad.
but then he just stuck with it despite the hate. He kept writing him into future further stories. I need someone dumb. I'll use Jar Jar. Oh, now I see what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. I opened the door. Look at that, I'm smart enough to open a door.
Not at the beginning.
No, I failed 4 times before I got it right. Yeah, maybe. So, General Surgeon, do you think you're going to want to look for another doctor to date? Or do you think you want to look for someone who's not in a competing or complementary field, like a nurse or doctor?
What do you mean?
Like for, future romantic attempts.
I don't know. Just somebody who's nice and funny
Yeah.
and like isn't a creeper.
Because let me tell you, it's hard to find people that are not
cute.
creepers.
They gotta
Well,
be cute.
to a limited extent, good looks come from the relationship. Sometimes people are pretty first, but sometimes you find that your best friends start looking pretty, as it were. If that makes sense. You just got to be open to the possibility of finding romance in existing friendships. Having healthy friendships is a good thing.
All my friends are girls,
Okay.
except for one who was dating my friend.
Okay. So, hey, there's those, two fish faces. So, planning on getting a previously used car. Planning on big city. Well, working in a big city, but not living in a big city. Pets.
A lizard.
Lizard? Yeah, that seems reasonable. Well, I feel like this is a good stopping point. You okay to stop here? And we've reached a good point where Jar Jar is trying to get into the bongo. We can continue the story and conversation next time.
Okay.
Alright, now, what should I say to end the stream? Some people say different specific things, like Blitz, he says, keep your stick on the ice. And Josh from Let's Game It Out, he says something like, we'll see you next time, or...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Let me think.
What should I say? Something like, don't die. Alright.
Don't die so you can see us next time.
See you later. Don't die.